May I offer you a drink? That simple question reveals the biggest misconception about business growth that I've discovered in the 20 plus years of working with entrepreneurs. Most business owners freeze up when they hear the word offer because they immediately think that it means selling or closing or some high pressure tactic. But what if I told you that making offers is something that you've already been doing dozens of times every single day? And the only reason you're not seeing massive growth is because you don't recognize the opportunities in front of you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to completely transform how you think about offers. You'll discover the surprising dictionary definition that changed my entire business approach, why waiting for the perfect offer is killing your revenue, and a simple framework for testing offers without risking time or money, plus how we use the offer test iterate method at ProfitSchool to find our winners, and why even your failed offers are actually valuable business intelligence. This isn't about manipulating people to buy things they don't want. It's about putting possibilities out into the world and letting the market guide you to exactly what people truly desire. Let me show you what I mean. What does it mean to make an offer? And I'm going to actually use a definition for this thing because I want to make sure that there's no ambiguity on it and that we're all on the same page. So this is literally a dictionary definition. Sometimes I like to do a dictionary definition because it means that we're not coming up with different interpretations. This is like the official Oxford version of it. So what is an offer? Like, what is a definition of offer? And I've never looked this up before. I've always looked at it intuitively or thought that I knew what it was. But what is an offer? And so the other thing is there is a legal term offer as well. Like when I searched for what is an offer, a lot of times it said this is what's in a legal agreement or you're offering something to somebody and it's one half of a legal agreement. I didn't want to go that route and muddy the waters. I wanted to talk about more just in general dictionary term. And so the verb is that you're presenting or proffering something for someone to accept or reject as desired. That is super broad, but that is amazing. May I offer you a drink is making an offer. May I, it doesn't have to be even said that way, but like, may I offer you a chance to learn from us here at ProfitSchool? May I offer you a video that just shows up on your screen where you can learn from me? May I offer you insights into what an offer is? I'm making you an offer right now. Now, I'm not selling you on something. I'm just making an offer, which is I'm offering up an insight. I'm offering up an opinion. And when you think about it that way, that is so freeing because a lot of us think that we have to be selling all the time or that, hey, offers mean selling. Offers means that you're offering up somebody an opinion. You're offering up your expertise. You're offering to be helpful. You're offering all these other things that are ultimately could lead to sales, but you are making offers even if you don't even know it. And so instead of crawling into a turtle shell and avoiding it and be like, I don't want to do sales. Maybe you should just offer, present or proffer something for somebody to accept or reject as desired. Right? Okay, cool. Another one is an expression of readiness to do or give something if desired. So that's just being ready to offer somebody something, right? That's just, hey, I'm ready to give you something if you so desire it. Notice there's like an exchange here of value. There is like, hey, I'm putting something out there. If you want it, I'll do it. If you don't want it, I'm not going to waste my time. It's also freeing, isn't it? If you don't want this, then I'm just not going to waste my time. So an example of that we use all the time is, I don't know what's going to work. So I offer something like we're doing this AI First Challenge next week. I offered our mailing list the ability to do something free of charge to see if they wanted it or not. And overwhelmingly, people have wanted it, and it's going really well. We're almost at we almost sold it out. Now, if we would have done this, if I would have made that offer and nobody accepted it, you know what I'd do? And then Mercer and I do this all the time. We would cancel the emails, we would cancel the challenge, and be like, nobody wants this thing. So the second half of it, if desired, isn't met by the market. There's not desire or demand in the market, so we're just going to move on. Now, it doesn't always mean that it's a bad idea. It just means that thing is just that it's just not aligned. Either you got the offer wrong, the message wrong, the audience wrong, the timing wrong, every one of those things could be there. So then you go back to the drawing boards. Instead of trying to double down on something that nobody wants or that they're not interested in, you start to say, okay, well, what's the reason why this didn't work? And Should we do it again better? Should we get feedback? Should we understand this thing, or do we just move on to something else? I think a lot of times it's easy to move on to something else really fast. I wouldn't recommend immediately moving on if you think it was a good idea, you just didn't execute well. But if it's just like crickets and you're just not sure about it, let the market decide whether you should work on this thing or not. Sometimes, the funny thing is sometimes you're ahead of the market. Sometimes you're behind the market. Sometimes it's a mature market and it's already saturated. There's so many different things that go into this that you have to understand. But you'll never know that unless you make an offer. And so the cheapest thing you can do is send an email or put a post out there and say, hey, if I did this, are you interested in it? And there are crickets. I'll tell you that, the difference between a mature market, like the measurement market, the analytics market, which I've been in for 20 years, your offers have to be tighter, cleaner. They have to be novel, new, something that somebody hasn't seen before. They have to be a lot more, you have to be really on the ball with an offer in a mature industry versus AI. Like the offer is simply, do you want to learn about something that you don't know about? Yes, that's pretty interesting. So really the market maturity can be a big factor in your offers. And so if you're selling SEO services or PPC services and everybody in the market knows what that is, and it's been happening for 20 years, your approach, if you sound like everybody else, is not new, it's not novel, and there's not a lot of desire that you're creating because you sound like everybody else. You sound like a commodity. So not sounding like a commodity can really be a reason why it's a source of desire in your offer. Now, AI first simply means like, let's trust but verify that. Is that really what an offer is? And am I missing something? So I'm just going to go into our workhorses here and be like, can you tell me everything you know about making offers as a service business? What types are there? Who does it? How can I assemble them to get? I'm just going to try that. So I'm leading the question a little bit, but I'm trying not to like, I don't want to have like just really bad outputs, but I want to give them something. So this is, and just so you know, this is like, this is how I do ping pong prompting, is I start with something. And then if I don't like the answer, I just keep on telling this thing to make it better until I like the answer. Or I have to redo my approach entirely because I just was starting with something bad. Again, maybe I'm making a bad offer to ChatGPT or Gemini, and then they're like, I'm not accepting your offer and I'm going to give you a bad result. Well, do I want to get the better result or do I want to give up and do something else? Okay. So ChatGPT has 4 clear parts, and you can see here, it's doing what I call big M marketing. Big M marketing is like marketing that you would learn in the university and in college. It's like the definition, like who am I going after, all this stuff, right? So they're saying that an offer in a service business is not just what you do, it's how you package it to solve a problem. So a strong offer knows who it's for. We talked about that. The problem that you solve, the transformation or the result, which fits into our framework quite well, doesn't it? The scope, the price, the delivery, and time frame. Now, I don't agree with this entirely. This is using offer as in the bottom of funnel sense, as in sales. This is very much, it's sales because they have a price on here. They have a scope. They're maybe putting the cart before the horse a little bit. And maybe I should give them that feedback as I go forward. Now, would you know this if I didn't just rant for 5 minutes about what an offer is? No. Is this a version of an offer? Yes. So you might be like, well, I actually appreciate that ChatGPT is just getting to the point and they're not worrying about all the different angles. I respect that. If you're saying, I'm glad that we listened to this thing because I was actually pretty jazzed about Jeff saying that offers are just understanding desire, and I was more comfortable with that than sales, then like, let's keep that tucked away as an idea. What types of offers? Core offers, primary revenue. Okay, so this is getting good. So core offers, retainers, we talk about this, project-based, productized services. This can work for some things. I'm not going to go into it too heavily here because it's basically just saying it's streamlining your product that you put out there. But these are a big part of service stacking. And then it says front end offers. I love this. Funny, these are the three things that we talk about in service stacking, my book. Shameless plug for service stacking if you haven't looked at it yet. And I say you need an audit, a training, or a strategy. And so that's bam, that is what our front end offers are. The price point, I wouldn't read too much into the price point. I think you can charge a lot more for that if there is market demand. Next, you see high ticket transformation offers. This is really your retainers. This is your implementation type stuff. Recurring or membership offers, I would not recommend that you even think about this at this point. I think it's a red herring. It generally attracts a lower value customer, and it takes a lot of work to accomplish it. And you're trying to make up what is a high ticket, high end service with low end volume, and the numbers don't ever add up. If you want me to do a presentation on that exact topic about why you shouldn't do it and show you the numbers, I'm happy to do that. So leave us that feedback or put it in the chat. Like, I want that session because I could easily do that. Back-end ascension offers, yeah, that makes sense. Just something else. This is essentially service stacking is basically saying do a low end or a low risk offer is what I call it, into a implementation offer, and then into a ongoing relationship with somebody. You're lowering their risk every step of the way. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Who creates these offers? Anyone, freelancers, agencies, coaches, and creators. Cool. I can live with that. I don't think that's really worthy of a section. Then how do you assemble it? Yep, you got to get your low front end offer, your core offer, and then the back end. And then, yeah, and then I would not do the optional one. I'm glad they call that optional. How do you make it resistible? Guarantee, scarcity, bonus, outcome, social proof. That's cool. This is harder for service businesses than pretty much anything. And so, but take that as a, yes, it would make your offer better if you had these things in there for sure. And then here's a checklist. That's cool.
So there you have it. Making an offer isn't about pushing people to buy something they don't want. It's simply presenting or proffering something for someone to accept or reject as desired. This shift in perspective changes a lot for you. Instead of feeling like you're selling all the time, you're simply offering value and letting the market decide. This is exactly how we've built ProfitSchool into what it is today. We make offers constantly. Some work brilliantly, others fail completely. But the key is that we let the market tell us what works instead of forcing our ideas on to people who don't want them. And I'd like you to try this approach in your business this next week. Create a simple offer. It could be a free training, a discovery call, or even a valuable piece of content, and just put it out there. Then watch what happens. If people respond, great. Double down and take it further. If it's crickets, that's valuable information too. Time to try a different approach. This offer, test, iterate cycle is the fastest path to sustainable growth. And if you want more training like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We release new profit boosting strategies every week that you don't want to miss. Until next time, and remember, your next great offer could just be one email or a post away.